Hey, as requested by a subscriber, I'm gonna be reviewing a video called How Shady Science Sold You a Lie. It's a video about salt.
To prove that low salt is a scam, I ate an entire salt shaker of salt in one day.
Salty diets are leading to health complications.
What exactly would that prove? You would be microdosing toxins, something poisonous. That's what a lot of people do nowadays. The only way that you could prove that it's not bad for you is by even taking a teaspoon of salt and putting it in your mouth. But of course, the salt shaker would absolutely 100% prove it. But you can't even do the teaspoon. That's the problem. Yeah, that would prove it. Why can't you do it? Because it's extremely toxic. It's deadly.
Applications around the globe.
Too much sodium in the food.
The deadly risk from salt.
In the news, they always talk about sodium as if it's the equivalent of salt, even though one is essential for your life and the other one kills life forms. Basically the opposites. And they talk about it as if it's the same. That's how dumb it is.
Salt.
Unhealthy salt.
This is a worldwide problem.
Because I'm on a low salt diet too. Heart attacks and strokes. Heart attack and stroke.
Number one risk for
I think that what he's trying to imply is that because the media says that, which they don't for the most part, the media and the government promotes salt. That's why you have it in every restaurant. They subsidize it. They love you to consume salt, of course. But he's trying to say that, oh, well, if the media says this, which they don't for the most part, then it must be the other way around. That would be the same as saying if the media says that smoking is bad for you, must be good for you. If they say alcohol is bad, must be good for you, right? You're taking a super potent toxin, which has been proven to kill every life form. Bacteria even, all sea animals die from salt. Even sea animals that live in salt water, if they ingest it or it in any way comes into their bodies, they die from it. I have a whole short about this. This will be linked in the description. But still, he just goes on probably. We'll see. It's already such a stupid video.
a diet-related death, sodium.
So we've been told the science was...
Yeah, and they say sodium. Makes no sense. Sodium is in everything. It's a natural part of food, animals.
settled on so many different things, only to learn later that we didn't get the full story.
Are all calories equally fattening? No.
Low fat is not necessarily better.
Eggs may be healthier than first thought.
But what if we've been misled even on something as simple as salt? After all, it's so simple. Salt raises your blood pressure because...
Yeah. Okay then. What are you waiting for? Put it in your mouth, man. Come on. It's good for you, right?
sodium attracts water, so if you have more sodium in the bloodstream, it's going to bring in more water and increase the blood pressure. But if it's that simple, then my blood pressure should raise dramatically, or I might even have a seizure if I ate 12 times the daily limit of salt in one day, 60 grams.
If you would consume it all at once, you would literally die on the spot. So it just depends. It's like microdosing any kind of toxins. A lot of people do that today. We are exposed to them through food, through our environment. Pepper, for example, is extremely toxic, yet some people probably eat pepper with their steaks every day. They are microdosing toxins, really poisonous seeds, which kill you if you consume too many at once. What will that prove? The conclusion of this video, I can already tell, will be absolutely stupid.
So that's exactly what I did. I put this 60 grams of salt in about 5 liters of water and drank it throughout the day while...
Why inside of water? Why? Why not just eat salt? It's good for you, right? Why would you be afraid of dehydration? Even though the ones that did the experiments on animals found out that they died because of dehydration. For the most part. It's a bit more complicated than that, but basically your whole body dries out.
checking my blood pressure. By the way, definitely do not try this at home. People have died from consuming less than 60 grams of salt all at once.
Yeah, but why do you give us a warning if it's good for you? Huh? He debunked his whole video.
I lived because I drink it slowly over a day. I checked my blood pressure 5 times throughout the day while eating tons of salt, around 10 to 15 grams between each blood pressure check. Remember,
It would be the same if you would do turmeric, pepper. What are you trying to prove, man? You can even microdose snake venom. Don't do it, but there are people who have done it to adapt their bodies to snake venom. Does that mean that snake venom is good for you? Oh my god, it's so dumb.
WHO's limit for salt for an entire day is only 5 grams.
Americans eat almost 3
Only, he says it as if, oh, they say that you should only be consuming 5 grams, when in reality, it should be 0.
3 to 4 times the recommended daily amount.
It's so dumb. It's such dumb logic, because what he's saying is, oh, they want you to eat salt, but only very little, meaning that you should be eating more. More is good. Instead of thinking logically, they are actually saying eat 5 grams, because it would be the same as eating 5 grams of pepper. It would be, well, you can argue about which one is worse. It has actually been studied, and it's easy to tell which one is worse, which one is more deadly, but whatever. Point being, it's not as if that would make the pepper, black pepper for example, healthy, because they say only eat 5 grams. They're saying eat 5 grams of something toxic. Just no thinking involved here. Just can't see through the lies.
Of salt.
I finished a total of 63.5 grams of salt by 10 p.m. My blood pressure started out at 114/6.
But you didn't even really. You mixed it in the water, because you knew that firstly you can't even eat it like that. It's so disgusting. It's one of the worst tasting things on earth, because it's so toxic, poisonous. And secondly, because maybe you can take up some of the water. Hydrating yourself with water alone is very hard. But he knew that he would be dehydrating himself with the salt, which is why he consumed a lot of water, of course.
66 and ended up at 113/61 before I went to bed. So weirdly enough, there was a mild drop in my blood pressure. My blood pressure remained in the ideal range the whole time. Nothing really happened. On another morning, I checked my blood pressure before and after having a Monster energy drink. Within just an hour, the Monster took my blood pressure from 108.
Yeah, because you consume tons of it, and those energy drinks have caffeine and all kinds of other stimulants also. But again, you didn't put a little bit of salt in tons of water. Is that at all the composition of an energy drink? Why would you even compare it to that?
8/66, all the way to 125/71.
A warning about those popular energy drinks. Researchers discovered those who drank the drinks had elevated blood pressure.
So I could get a significant rise in my blood pressure with just a single can of Monster in just an hour, but not even an entire salt shaker.
But you would die or be hospitalized if you would consume all of it. That's why you did it so slowly. You know that you debunked your whole video by showing us how you did it, right? You can microdose any toxins. Think of anything. Don't do it. I'm just saying, you can absolutely do that. What does it prove? You can take vinegar, anything you want, and microdose it. So strange that he thinks that he's proving something.
Rose my blood pressure. So what's going on here? The reason I decided to do this experiment was because after asking some questions about salt, I learned that the idea that we need to cut down on salt intake to be healthy is a total scam. Let's rewind. The year is 1977, a big year for America. Jimmy Carter became president, Star Wars came out, Elvis died, Sugar Ray Leonard made his professional debut, the first professional Apple computer came out, the CIA revealed its involvement in mind control experiments, and people were wearing bell-bottoms and had fluffy hair. That year is when the famous dietary goals for the United States were being crafted by George McGovern, which would tell Americans to cut salt and saturated fat. Salt has always been vital for life, but the idea that salt causes...
Salt has always been vital to life, even though salt is not found in any life forms, and even sea animals filter out salt water. Huh? What? Oh my god, this is the most contradictory, obscure video.
High blood pressure gained popularity thanks to Dr. Lewis Dahl. Dahl found some data suggesting that populations who ate more salt seemed to have more hypertension, and then he began studying the effects of high salt diets in rodents. Now, not only were the rats in Dahl's experiments not humans, they were a special type of rat. In 1963, Dahl fed rats a high salt diet and found that some, but not all, developed high blood pressure. He then selectively bred the rats to create a strain of rats that were genetically extra sensitive to salt. Later, in 1970, he fed the salt-sensitive rats commercial baby food, and about half of the salt-sensitive rats died. He assumed that the high salt content of the baby food was what killed the rats. After his study was published...
Again, my video about a really good experiment is linked in the description. Watch that to really understand what salt does to every animal.
The U.S. Senate issued a mandate for lowering salt in baby foods. In his book, The Salt Fix, Dr. James DiNicolantonio says that there wasn't even a single study investigating whether salt causes hypertension in humans until 1983. 6 years.
Well, it causes death. It has an LD50 value, meaning that it has been proven to be toxic through experiments.
After they crafted the low-salt dietary guidelines for Americans. He also pointed out that Lewis Dahl didn't mention what the human equivalent dose of salt would be in his rodent studies. Jordan Filkall explained that the human equivalent dose necessary to give the salt-sensitive rats high blood pressure in Lewis Dahl's experiments was 40 grams. That is 4.7 times what the average modern American actually eats today.
What does it matter if it would be good for you? You can feed them tons of meat because it's not toxic. Whatever they are naturally supposed to eat. You can't overdose on something that's good for you. The dose never makes the poison. Only the poison makes the poison. So what's your point? You're again proving that salt is toxic, as it has been proven in every experiment ever done, on every life form, every animal, even microbes.
8.5 grams per day. Remember, this is in the salt-sensitive rats. In fact, the human equivalent of what the salt-resistant rats were eating was way higher than my salt shaker of salt in a day experiment, which was 60 grams. The salt-resistant rats could eat the human equivalent of 100 grams of salt a day and still not get high blood pressure. So again, the 1977 report told us to limit our salt intake to just 5 grams a day, but there wasn't a single study investigating whether salt causes hypertension in humans until 1983. Let's rewind. We're back in the 1500s. Christopher Columbus was arrested, Magellan went on a big trip.
Why would that even matter? Your blood pressure increases for different reasons, but also, which is what he's talking about, when you consume something that's bad for you, toxic, a stimulant, your body is alert because you're being poisoned. That's what happens when you consume caffeine. That's what he mentioned. The energy drinks, caffeine is of course the main ingredient in those usually. Sometimes some other kind of stimulants, toxins, poisons. But why do we need to talk about this? How is this a relevant topic, really? Salt, of course, will increase it. Not if you microdose it. You can microdose caffeine. Put a little bit of caffeine in tons of water. You will also not feel it or hardly feel it. That doesn't prove anything. Because when you consume it in a larger dose, not even a large, huge dose, but just a salt shaker or a shaker full of coffee, ground up coffee beans, then you die or get hospitalized. So what are you proving by microdosing it? I still don't get what the point of this video is.
High sodium in the context of low potassium could cause hypertension in people who are genetically susceptible.
Genetically susceptible? Genes don't exist. What are you basing this on? No gene has ever been proven, observed in any way. There's no such thing as being genetically susceptible to something. Now it's 100% crystal clear that he has no clue what he's talking about. Super ignorant guy. Wow. Really, really ignorant.
How is that? Salty.
Now, tons of salt may be bad for you.
Yeah, salty is bad. Tons of salt may be bad for you. What?
But too little salt is likely much worse. So you might be curious.
I haven't had salt in 10 years now. I know tons of people who haven't eaten any salt at all for many years. But yeah, sure.
Curious why nothing happened when I ate that entire salt shaker of salt. Well,
because you didn't. That's why. Because you never did. Because if you would, what do you think would happen?
Let's take a look at this study. In a 1979 study, they gave men with normal blood pressure more and more salt. They kept ramping up the salt until they reached as much as 87 grams of salt, about 1.5 salt shakers. This is about 15 times the amount of salt that the WHO recommends, and about 10 times what the average American actually consumes. What happened? Well, they just peed out almost all of the salt. They found that the more salt that they gave to the people.
And that doesn't tell you something? That you pee something out? That your body excretes it?
The more salt that they peed out until they were peeing out tons of salt. The point is that most people...
The point is that it's poisonous. That's why you excrete it.
People with healthy kidneys, like myself, should be able to just excrete whatever...
Yeah, maybe you excrete a lot of it, most of it. Yeah, maybe. What if not? What if you get kidney stones eventually? Fucking... Such a fucking stupid video. gives such an advice to the audience. Really fucking
You spilled the salt.
yeah. That's him from this movie. That's the guy who made this video. Yeah, exactly.
What's the matter?
The body is well equipped to deal with too much salt. In fact, biology suggests that too little
What do you mean, deal with? I thought that it's good for you. I thought that we were lied to. Huh? Why deal with it? Do you deal with meat and fruits, which are good for you, good foods? Do you deal with them? Man, you admit with your own language that it's bad for you. Fucking seriously.
Just like when they are thirsty or hungry, animals and humans will go to great lengths to get enough salt. Elephants will uproot
What? How? There is no salt in nature. Oh my god, this is the stupidest video I've ever seen.
entire trees to get at the salty soil under the roots. Gorillas will
Salty soil under the roots? Is this a religious video? What are you talking about? Completely made up. Wow, just a completely dumb religious channel.
chew on rotting wood to eat the salty microbes.
Salty I can't.
Though, as Mark Kurlansky points out in his
And that's it? Even though it was literally in an experiment proven, scientifically, an actual scientific experiment, not some stupid epidemiology, that salt kills all animals. All animals die because of salt. And he makes this up for the video with zero proof. Totally made up. Oh my god.
book Salt, A World History, humans easily take the cake for Capture the Salt. In the book, he lays out how salt-seeking drove civilizations, built empires, and
Religious belief, zero proof, zero evidence, completely made up. Like cooking meat, all made up.
won wars. Romans established every major city near a salt works, and for some time, Roman troops were paid in salt. At the time, salt was referred
Yeah, troops, the slaves, they were given salt to make fun of them. Oh my god, and he doesn't get it. He thinks that they were rewarded. I can't.
to as white gold. And the word salary,
Yeah, like today, you run 50 kilometers and you get gold because they reward. Yeah, because they reward you because they care about you. So they give you gold because it's worth something, because it's fulfilling and meaningful. They were not making fun of the slaves, giving them toxic salt, poisoning them, saying that it's white gold. No, of course not, man. Of course not. This thing which you microdosed because you hate the taste so much, that's white gold. Yeah, just believe it. I mean, guys like you just deserve what's coming to you.
Researchers out of the University of Manitoba published a review that lays out all the negative hormonal effects of low-sodium diets. Low-salt diet.
Low salt, low sodium. He also talks about it as if it's the same. Huh? Of course you shouldn't be eating low sodium diets because that doesn't even exist naturally. Because when you eat animals, you get enough. So that's it.
Diets can have effects on all sorts of functions in the body.
Okay, how is this related to salt? This guy doesn't even understand what sodium and salt is. How can you be this ignorant? It's unbelievable.
Now, if you're exercising a lot, in the sun, going to the sauna, doing a low-carb diet, fasting, or
Exercising, extreme chronic stress, starving, again, stress.
doing things that's going to make you sweat and lose more sodium, you'll have to be more proactive about your salt intake. This brings us to the sponsor of this video, Element. Not many people realize
Yeah, of course, yeah. Maybe that's what this was all about. That's how you could explain the ignorance, because this video was laughable. That's how bad it was. That it maybe was one big advertisement could make sense, because that's how stupid it was.
it's just how important electrolytes are when it comes to energy levels. There's a very interesting connection between losing electrolytes and fatigue. I'm actually finishing this video up at 4 a.m. and getting plenty of electrolytes and sodium is one of my go-to things to do.
Yeah, because it's stimulants like caffeine.
when I'm doing an all-nighter. There are many ways that you can get your sodium, but what I like to do is Element. It's a convenient way to get a good balance of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. You may have noticed me talking a lot about fasting and low-carb diets, and that's another time when I'm more conscious.
You're basically just paying for super expensive salt that people fall for this.
It's about replacing my electrolytes to keep my energy levels up. The same thing goes
And some maybe synthetic ingredients also, by the way. So definitely bad for you anyway, that's clear.
for when I'm sweating a lot at the gym. I don't use any pre-workout, but I do take Element. Sometimes we mistake a craving for salt as hunger, which is why I also have a bit of Element if I find myself looking around for snacks. Element tastes great, and my favorite thing is its simple ingredients. It has a balanced mix of electrolytes, sodium, potassium, and magnesium, along with natural flavors.
If you're hungry, then you're hungry. If you take a supplement instead, you're living unnaturally. They can only mess you up. How do you not get it? Hunger is hunger. It means you want food.
I should probably mention that at some point in the day I got watery diarrhea, so
That's maybe a sign of toxicity, being poisoned. Maybe. What are you gonna say?
another way the body can excrete large amounts of salt.
Yeah, but it's good for you. You get diarrhea if you drink too much, you vomit, but it's good for you. Of course, because it's white gold. You're just having diarrhea because of white gold. So go on, slave. Drink it, consume it in any way possible. It's white gold. Literally admits that it's toxic and still continues with the video. What the fuck? Okay, this was one of the worst videos I've ever seen. Beyond laughable. And it's not even funny because it's dangerous. Somebody is gonna watch this and actually believe that you should be microdosing poisons. And as I said, a lot of people do that already. If you simply consume pepper now and then, you're microdosing something that's poisonous. It's an antibiotic, and all antibiotics kill all life forms. They kill the microbes, and they also slowly poison you. That's what salt does. That's why he had diarrhea. He proved in his own video over and over again how bad it is for you. That's why he microdosed it. Think about it. Think about it. Actually, you only need to think about this. He has something insanely toxic in front of him. He shows it to you, makes a thumbnail out of it, but then goes on in the video itself, putting it slowly into water, very small amounts, and then drinking it. We didn't really see that he did that, but I'll take his word for it. That's okay. He said that he had diarrhea. I'm sure that he actually did it. It was disgusting. He hated it. He would never do it again, but let's just say that he did it. But he never actually simply, with his own mind, intuition thought, let's open it up and consume all of it just like that. He never thought of that. Nobody would think of that because you know how toxic it is. You know it. Everybody knows it. That's why you do it slowly. That's it, really? I don't need to say anything more. Thanks for watching.